again, it's back to this one dream of having everything connected, ideally maybe in one model. I don't know if we're going to get there, but if we can't have it in one model, at least we need to connect the different models and the different data.
Hi, everyone. Joining us today is Runar Aasen, Manager at B&A Software, the parent company of ShipWeight, a Norwegian company that specializes in solutions for the estimation, tracking, and monitoring of CG and weight throughout a project lifecycle, and ExpressMarine, a structural modeling plugin for Rhino. Runar, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
So, Runar, you've been in the industry for a long time, and I want to start by getting your view on what are the upcoming challenges for shipbuilders in terms of digital technologies, innovations, and digital transformation, maybe more generally.
Well, I think, Greg, it's upcoming challenges are a little bit like the same challenges that's been for many years now in the shipbuilding industry. It's shipbuilding. It's ships are big constructions. They're complex constructions, involve many vendors and partners, and often one-off. And it's I would say, pretty conservative industry. And so I think the challenges going ahead would be typically that there is in going from 2D to 3D fully. I think that's something the industry has been struggling with for years. And there are more demands going in that direction, and class societies are pushing it, and they're starting to accept class drawings now in 3D models and things like that. But there is a reluctance in the shipbuilding industry to really leave the 2D drawings behind and go fully to 3D. The other thing, of course, is to have everything in one model. That's also been a big dream of the shipbuilding industry, to keep everything in one model. Doesn't really seem to have happened yet. Still using different models and then exporting, importing, and changing through different phases. So, it's shipbuilding is special because it's both very high-end technology industry, but it's also a lot of traditional handcraft involved. You can have, when you're building a ship, you can have in the same room a fully advanced robotics welding, and then next to there you can have someone who's welding things for hand. And same, actually, I would say, in the designing, you have advanced tools, but you also have people with sort of handcraft knowledge and skills that's mixed in together with it.
What do you think is kind of keeping shipbuilders so attached to paper, and what's preventing the digital adoption of fully 3D or fully paperless tools?
That's a good question. I think partly it's cultural. There's a lot of knowledge passed down from almost one generation to the next in some cases. And it's just a sense of this is the way we do it. And that is also combined with, again, the complexity and the number of partners and vendors. The fact that it's one-off projects, again, I think this also comes into play. And also maybe a little bit disappointment towards our industry, the software industry, which haven't been able to truly deliver solutions. There's been that could really gather it all in one model. For example, I remember STEP coming on in the maybe 90s, and that was a dream of one of the things that should really help shipbuilding industry, but I don't think it truly came through as what they hoped it should be after many, many years.
Are these challenges unique to shipbuilding? Is there something about shipbuilding that is different from another manufacturing industry where we've seen more progress?
Yeah, I think part of it is that if you compare, I would say, shipbuilding industry to, let's say, the automobile industry, very often a ship is a one-off, and there's a time constraint. You have to design, build, and deliver the ship within that many months. I don't know the automobile industry well enough, so I can't really say, but I assume that when they design a new car model, that they have a lot more time and you can use a lot more resources up front, and then they're going to build this car in thousands, if not millions, and going on for a long, long time. The shipbuilding industry just isn't like that. It's completely different.
I think from my perspective, a lot of the innovations and the digital transformation in general kind of relies on being able to control data and understanding your data and information. Do you agree?
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. Controlling data is controlling the project. If you don't control your data, then you're left to coincidences and arbitrary things. And the data tells you where you are in your project and the health of the project, and that's how you measure the economics and technical. And yeah, it's definitely, it's all about controlling the data.
So from your solution provider perspective, what do you consider the role of data, and maybe more specifically the role of integrating data and managing it throughout the project?
The role of integrating data, it's so important. Again, it's back to this one dream of having everything connected, ideally maybe in one model. I don't know if we're going to get there, but if we can't have it in one model, at least we need to connect the different models and the different data, because it is all connected in reality, and it needs to also be connected digitally.
We talk a lot about the platform of platforms ecosystem, where no shipbuilder is going to have one solution for everything. And so having multiple partners is critical, and having lots of different vendors working together is critical. On the ShipWeight ExpressMarine side, do you agree with that? Do you work with other partners, obviously with SSI, but have you guys embraced that internally as well?
Oh, yes, absolutely. As you say, we work with SSI on ExpressMarine. We also work with SSI on ShipWeight. And I think this is just the industry has realized that this is how it has to be. There has to be this type of platforms and this type of integration. And like you say, there's no one solution that fits everything. The tools are too diverse. The solutions selected at different yards are too diverse. So yes, you certainly have to put integration in place, specialized for the various shipyards. And
was
clients.
there a trigger point when this changed over, when this was starting to become more embraced, this idea of more open integration versus before, where I think people were thinking the monolithic type solution where you can do everything in one place was going to work out?
Yeah, I think there were probably before that you had companies that had ambitions about being able to produce packages for the ship industry, which would have all tools and to really be able to do all, stability, detailed engineering, damage stability, and seakeeping, whichever task. But there really hasn't been. It's been a little bit amazing to see how that no company came further in that. It seems to stay that you have these companies that provides their solutions, their expertise within this field, and then you have another in the other fields. And I have seldom seen companies that's been able to produce successfully solutions that spans really a lot of fields. Some to some extent, perhaps, but it seems to be that the reality is that we're far from that, and having good integration is maybe the only plausible solution for the time being and for many years to come.
You said SSI and B&A Engineering have been partners for quite a while now. What do you think makes that partnership successful, and why do our two companies work well together?
There's a few things there. I think one is we share the same attitude towards cooperating, realize that this is beneficial for us, for you, for the customer, and we're not just talking that, we're also doing providing solutions that makes it possible to integrate and to cooperate. I guess as I've provided us, for example, with the Genesis API for ExpressMarine, we used connectors and the enterprise platform when we connect to ShipWeight, and just the willingness to cooperate and sharing that philosophy, and also backing it up with actions and software to actually carry it through.
Yeah, do you mind expanding on some of those initiatives that we've worked on together, and maybe the value of having both solutions working together as opposed to disparately?
Sure. If we start with ExpressMarine, I think ExpressMarine is on the structure side almost like a bridge from basic design into detailed design. Like I said, I think different companies and different tools have different strength and different expertise, and for different parts of the ship and also different parts of the process. And ExpressMarine was built with basic design, really was sort of the scope or the phase, and for quickly getting out things that is critical in the basic design phase, like the weight and center of gravity, and calculations from the structure more than just the drawings. And that's what we built. That's our intention with the tool. And then, of course, we have our model, and the next phase is more oriented towards class drawings, detailed drawings, and that's for ShipConstructor. And through the Genesis API, we're able to take everything that's done in ExpressMarine and move that over to ShipConstructor in a true sense that it's not just passing over the geometry, but it's going through the Genesis API. So we're really building up the structure that in from ExpressMarine is built up in ShipConstructor as if it was done in ShipConstructor from scratch. So everything you do in ExpressMarine, you bring that work further. You don't have to start over. So simply you reuse your work in ExpressMarine in ShipConstructor. And with ShipWeight, I would say that CAD, of course, has a lot of valuable information about weight and center of gravity that you need to utilize, and you need to harvest that information. But on the other hand, a CAD isn't a weight control system. A weight control system is something completely different. So in this case, we also would like to, from on the ShipWeight side, get the information of weight and center of gravity from the ShipConstructor model over to ShipWeight. But the same as with ExpressMarine to ShipConstructor, when we go from ShipConstructor to ShipWeight, we don't just want to grab them data in a very simple way. We want to do it in an intelligent way and do it in a way that provides more information and better control to the user of the weight data. And that's what we've done through this the Fulcrum project, which built that bridge, which was first middleware, and now it's an incorporated way of ShipWeight, which enables a more smart way of transferring the weight data from ShipConstructor to ShipWeight.
Do you mind expanding on some of those other things that you and your team are working on for the future? What's the hottest thing you're working on the next year to 2 years that you expect to appear?
One of the things that we're looking at is we have a database for weight control, and up until now, and also in the future, it would be mainly focused on weight and center of gravity. But we are expanding this to also focus on other things that you could control, or let's say other data that would be useful to harvest. When you're doing control and registering weights, why not at the same time also involve other quantities? It could be anything from parameters related to environmental things. It could be a cost. It could be labor data, whatever data is interesting for the yards to capture in the same way, really, as you capture weight. And that's the other thing that we're looking at going forward, how we capture weight. We want to expand further into the organization, having more spin our net further downstream in the organization, in the process, and using more webs to harvest weight data directly and indirectly, both from software, but also from people. And on the other hand, distribute results to more people and to more tools, basically integrating ShipWeight more in the complete organization. For ExpressMarine, I think we're looking at going into not only again, utilize the fact that you've modeled the basic components of a structure. What can you do with that? Well, you can define volumes, you can define other things, you can harvest other data, going further, utilizing that early structure model in ExpressMarine.
And just as a final question, I was hoping to ask you a more fun one, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
What do you think is a missing piece in a lot of shipyard strategies today?
The missing piece of the strategy. Well, maybe it is to be more looking at the complete process from, how data travels and how you cope with legacy data, how you cope with all types of data, how you really the process. Some are maybe good at it, but I think many miss out on let's say a data strategy, both for legacy data, new projects, and future data. How do you harvest it? Where do you keep it? How do you utilize it?
Do you have any tips for them?
Try to look further than the current project. So some are maybe very focused on, okay, we have this project, we need to finish this project. That's the only thing that matters. 3, 5, 10 years from now, maybe not everyone is good at thinking that far and doing a data strategy stretching for several years, several projects.
Thanks so much, Runar. It was really good to talk with you today and to get your unique perspective. I hope we get a chance to speak again soon.
Sure. Thank you, Greg. My pleasure.